Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be doing some drawing because I'm trying to get better at doing concept art, like just doing lots and lots of sketches of a character. Because in the past, I've done like one drawing and not really challenged it. And I really want to like do the best that I can for my characters and my stories and stuff. So today we're going to be working on the design of my zombie sea goddess OC. I really want to come up with a name for her. I really want to come up with a name for the character we'll be drawing today. She's an undead goddess of the ocean, and I want to work on doing more concept art and drawing like expressions and poses or trying out different things for like outfits and hair because I haven't really challenged my first idea in the past when I'm drawing, and that's something important. Something I've seen subjectively do that I think works really well is write down keywords. Like, what are the main things that we wanna be shooting for with this design? For example, I know I want this character to be a mother. I want her to be a kind of, like, mediator because that's kinda like what the ocean does for the earth, and I want her to look kind of like a shipwreck, or not necessarily a shipwreck by itself, like when it has seaweed growing on it and there's fish living there and stuff, that kind of undead thing, like the drowned in Minecraft, for example. I don't know what that's called, so I'll try and write it down. Do I just write drowned? When I was first coming up with ideas for this character, I imagined her being kind of like old-fashioned, like kind of prudish. And I'm not 100% sure how that would work because she's immortal, but it's something I have in mind. I might play it like she spends most of her time mediating, but you also like sometimes you should like be mad or have a conflict. And something that the ocean does in real life is it helps people travel. So I might do something with that. The ocean is also where life started. It's where a bunch of cool stuff keeps happening. It's how we got oxygen. So I might tie her to the overall concept of like creation and origin. I should probably have a picture of her kid up. I want her to be like literally a mom, but I have a pretty good idea of what she looks like. You know, I'm hoping like I know what my OCs look like, but it's important to me that it's like it's visible that they're related. I kind of want her hair to look like kelp or seaweed too. And I don't want to go too on the nose with any of this, but I'll probably make it green. I'll probably make it look kind of wet, things like that. I gave her kind of a long face like this because that's how her daughter looks. I might also give them both like a stray hair. Let's make her face a little thinner. I might make their eyes look similar too. Maybe I could give her like the lower eyelashes like you see on some anime characters. Those remind me of creatures that live in the ocean, like lobsters and shrimp, how they have like those antennae on their heads. They're probably not called antennae. I just don't know what they are. I might give her a kind of like like spindly build, like old wood. I think a lot of like mother deities are drawn thick though. I don't know if that would work. I might make her look pretty unkempt, you know, like a zombie. Making sure you can see everything. That might be a little too short. I feel like last time her outfit wasn't very descriptive. I might make it look like it's made of sails, but that might change up her color scheme a lot. I'm not sure. Last time I drew her, I gave her really long hair, and I'm not sure if I'll keep it super long, but I like the idea of it being longer than an ordinary person's to show like she's unusual. Mm. I'm not very good at drawing like the tail end of hair. I won't worry about it too much right now. Not sure if I should give her stray hairs. I feel like when you see parts of a shipwreck sticking up from the bottom of the ocean, they look a little like ribs too. So I want to emphasize that. And in case like like you're kind of confused why I'm making her look undead, it's because of detritivores. I think it's interesting how stuff in the ocean, a lot of stuff comes from whale falls. And detritivores are animals that eat, well, detritus, they eat the stuff on the bottom of like the ocean floor or the sea floor. They're they're creatures like mushrooms that recycle stuff. And I don't know what it all is in the ocean, but there is a similar concept. And creatures will like move into the skeleton of a whale or they'll feed off of its remains, things like that. I draw her being pretty tall and gangly, and I used to say I would make her like giant, but I don't think that would really work for the vibe I'm going for anymore. Sorry if there are any giantess fans in the audience. I'll see if I can work in another one. I'm probably gonna have to look at like diagrams of bones or something, but I'm not concerned with making this like super realistic. It's a fantasy. Let's adjust this. I'm trying not to spend too much time on the body because that's not the main focus here, but I do want to have a base to draw on. Okay. So I think last time I drew the ribs way too high up. So I'm gonna draw them here. I wonder if I could make them echo like the curls of the hair, have that shape repeat. I'm not sure I should have them sticking out all the way though. Like I'm not sure about this specific shape where they're like perfectly curled. Hmm. How do I make her look like a mother? I wonder. Anime fans will tell you to just give her a side plate, but that's not my thing. Wonder how sharp I should make these. I feel like they mess up the silhouette. I wonder if I could show them like exposed, but not like actively sticking out like a mouth. Last time I had, see how her hair is parted here? I had her dress part here. And I might still do that because that kind of like asymmetry that works well. That arm might be a little long. I might make her look like she's wearing like long robes. I don't think I can draw it on the page, but last time I drew her, I gave her a really long train on her skirt. I think that works well. I love that neckline. You know when you see like moss growing on old wood in the ocean, that's what I'm thinking of. Might make her look tired. I don't want her dress to look too perfect either. So I'm trying to figure out how to make it look kind of messy. Mm. I don't want her to look too perfect overall either. I really love this dress silhouette, but I think I'm gonna have to change it up some. Okay. So what we've learned from this drawing is that I don't like the ribs shape right now. And although I love this dress silhouette, it might not work for exactly what I'm going for. Something else I was thinking about was I might have her like act pretty young, like she's never really been a parent before, and that would affect how she parents her kids. But I'm not sure. Okay, so I wonder if I should try putting her in a nice robe on this page, maybe. I'm not worrying too much about poses right this second because I'm just trying to get ideas like for clothes out. Might have her holding her arms in front of her, you know, like a movie zombie. I don't want her to have like too sharp of a chin. I think these eyes work well for her personality. Those are a little big, but you get the idea. Might make her eyes more curvy, like S curves. Make her head a little shorter. I'm not awesome with proportions. Okay. I like how her hair is going so far. I don't think I really need to mess with that right now. But I'm thinking about like some depictions I've seen of Hera, for example, where she'll be wearing like very long kind of modest clothing. And I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work because this takes place in a fantasy world, not the real world. But what I might do is have this character because she's so old. The ocean is a stabilizing force for the earth, which is great. But in her case, like all she's doing is stabilizing things, like holding on to old ideas, even if they don't make sense. And that can be modesty sometimes. I do want to be able to show off that she's a zombie though. So I might have like some of her bones showing, like some of her insides, and maybe we could use that to kind of like poke fun at the idea of some modesty expectations. Like you say you're supposed to cover all your skin, but you're showing your bones and organs. How is that different? Let's just draw in her arms and hands real quick. It's a very basic pose so that I can draw in whatever clothes I want. I'm also giving her a spindly look here because that's how her daughter looks, but I might play up that they look different. I'm not sure. Might have this like join up here, like it's like a V-neck, but then we could show here, like it's where the flesh is like ripped open. Forgot to realize if you're not a big fan of gross stuff, you might not be a fan of this character, but that's okay. She's somebody else will enjoy her. Might give her this is the kind of skirt that looks like it would like billow in the wind, the kind of thing that I can see like flapping around or reminds me of ocean waves. So that's what I'm going for. Last time I drew her, I also drew a bone sticking out here. I'm not sure how detailed I'm gonna make this section because I don't want it to get distracting. So right now I'm just drawing in like vague shapes of like lungs, for example. I just thought of something. When I put this stray hair on the top of her head, it makes it look a little bit like a stem to me, like spinach. I might make her look sorrowful. And people could be like, "Man, you're stuck in the past. Maybe that's why you're sad all the time. Try something new." Might give her exposed bones here too. Wonder if I should give her sleeves. I'm not sure. Maybe save that for the next drawing. Make her hair a little shorter than that. I'm not sure if I'm going to give her lots of stray hairs because I feel like it almost looks more cheerful. Me, okay, like that. I want her hair to look wavy, but not like curly exactly. Think of kelp or seaweed. Let me fill in her lashes a bit too. I see a lot of mother characters being portrayed as like one of their flaws is it's hard for them to let go. It's hard for them to move on, and like let their kids leave the nest. I'm not sure I want to do exactly that because I feel like that's been done before, but I wonder if I could make that part of her. I wonder if I can include this kind of antennae shape anywhere else. I mean, it kind of looks like the ribs. Maybe I could make her mouth look a little bit ripped up too. I draw her collarbones a little pointy too. Like, you know, she's dead. There's not a lot of meat left on these bones. I have a friend who's drawing a hammerhead shark themed Biku right now, and I really want to see how that turns out. I feel like this hair is like not shaped enough, but I'm trying not to worry about it. It's not the point here. Yeah, I think hmm, I want you to be able to see these bones, but I wonder if covering up her arms would add to this image. Can you tell that's like skin ripped off from under her mouth here? Maybe I could make it look like her clothes are ripped too. No, she's been wearing them for a long time. They're meant to look mossy. Maybe like this. Collarbone, how scandalous. In the real world, when we're talking about modesty and stuff, at least in like the Christian, like shame culture sense, when we're talking about covering bodies, it's not for like safety reasons, it's to control the person whose body it is. Like, oh, your body is so shameful. If we tell you that and you can't like you have to be ashamed of it and cover it up, and we're constantly going to be worrying about it and we're going to be controlling ourselves. And I'm not sure how much I want to go into that in this story, but what I might do is have like something similar have happened in the past. And by now, like most people know that was wrong, but she's like clinging on to it. Like, I don't know, maybe she's uncomfortable changing, but sometimes you have to change because the alternative is people get hurt. I kind of want to make the sleeves pointier. I feel like if I'm not careful, she'll look a little too much like an OC I have, who is the goddess of nighttime, and she has similar like a long dress, long sleeves. Maybe I could make the sleeves more fitted, make it look almost like there's just moss growing on her. I wonder if I should cover her face. I don't know a ton about it, but I'm thinking about in like ancient Roman times when ladies had to like wear a veil or not go outside. And this isn't that long ago, but she's old. So I wonder if I could have like the shapes of little creatures on her, like fish or crustaceans. I wonder if I could put like one braid in her hair, because, and this isn't necessarily the case in real life. A lot of times when someone's drawing a mother's character design, they'll like they'll tie the hair up to show it's out of the way. Oh, how fish bones look, where they've got the really iconic like spine and rib shape. I wonder if I could work that in somewhere. I'm trying to make her shoulders look kind of pointy too. I don't think she smiles very often. Maybe I imagine that in the past people would go to her for advice, like you would ask your mom, "Mom, what do I do in this weird situation?" But maybe they've stopped doing that so often. She doesn't get it. I don't want it to look like she's just got like something on her face. I have a hard time making the hair on the top of her head look wavy and not too curly. I haven't drawn that kind of hair too often, so maybe I just need more practice. Let's move her shoulders up a little. Again, I'm not going to worry about the legs too much. I'm not too focused on the anatomy here. I'm going more for shapes and outfit ideas. Hmm. It helps me to draw the hands in first because I have an idea of where they need to end up in relation to the body, and then I fill the arms in. Okay. I wonder if I could have like maybe what looks like an intentional slit in the dress, for example, and it's not. It's just like some of it like rotted away or something, maybe around here. Okay. I feel like if I make the sleeves super tight and the skirt super flowy, that might look a little odd. So I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I don't want her to look too dressed up. Like, this is the kind of silhouette I see in a lot of like celebrity clothing today, and that's not necessarily what I want. Maybe I could give her just like little sleeves here. Where the sleeves are like mostly fitted and then they have pretty cuffs. Should I show her his spine? I could do it. The original idea I had with this character was that she's like very graceful, very beautiful, very like elegant. So, and those things don't have to be bad, but she's kind of embodying them in a very old-fashioned way. So when her kid doesn't do the same thing, she's not a big fan of that. And I'm trying to figure out how to get that across. I feel like I'm going more for a dress than a robe right now. And on one hand, I don't super want to give her a robe because that would look a lot like another character, but I wonder if there's a way I could make it work. I also do really like the more asymmetrical version of her dress because I think it adds to the idea of moss or plants growing kind of randomly on things. So I wonder if there's a way it could boost like the kind of motherly nature of that. Mm. Hmm. I'm looking at this to see, like, is this something I want to keep about it? Is this something I want to change? Maybe I could give her like just one sleeve. Let's move this up a little bit. I always forget I have to draw the chin. I do want her to look bony, but I'm trying not to make her look too unnatural because they have another character that does that too. I might also have her be a protector of like sailors and travelers because that's one of the earliest ways humans traveled was across the ocean. No, you that makes sense. This arm used to be a little longer. feel like I haven't been able to see her eyes very clearly in the last few drawings. I don't want her to look evil, just kind of like checked out, like stuck in her ways. Her daughter's name is Greta, by the way. It's because it means pearl, but people keep thinking it's because of Greta Thunberg, which like I'm not mad about, but it is kind of funny to me that people immediately guess that. Can they tell I'm a youth climate activist just by looking at me? It's because I never shut up about it. I feel like this head is a little small, but I'm gonna be drawing her hair in soon anyway. I do want to make her face look a little bit like rotted somehow. This arm is a little bit too thick. I have so much trouble drawing this part of her hair. I'm hoping I'll get better at it as I keep going. Okay, so I might have the dress open up here. And what I did in a painting of her is I had her dress like close over just one shoulder, and that was to play up the asymmetry. I think that could help this look like plants just growing, you know? I might have this come from one side too. I think it needs to go on the other. This is like the gap in her dress. Okay. No, it needs to be the other way. I'm thinking in my artist brain about asymmetry. It's a little hard to explain out loud. Maybe like this. I think a lot of goddess characters will be drawn with a really long dress to make them look like elegant, mysterious, important. So I think playing that up could work here. Should I give her sleeves? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What I did the when I painted her too was I had her leg bone visible here, so I might do that as well. Trying to make this more wavy, but also keep the silhouette. I hope that's not too distracting having all of these visible, because that's 6 elements. And especially, like, I hope things like this could be animated one day. With animation, you wanna keep things simple because you have to draw that over and over again. Wonder I wonder if you don't show, like, all of them. Maybe you could only show, like, some of these? I don't know, like, what would be going over the ends of them, but maybe you could show, like, from the side, you could see these, and from the middle, there's, like, organs. For anyone new to the stream, we're drawing a zombie. I wonder if there's another way to work in these antenna shapes too. Hmm. Hmm. Let me try giving her sleeves real quick. I feel like that particular sleeve doesn't work too well. Here, I'm drawing a little hole. Hmm. Looks a little strange. I might have something on her face that it's attached to her mouth a little bit. Maybe right now I have this like open all the way in the front, but maybe I could close it up a little because I'm not sure how clearly you can see it. But right now this looks like one of those dresses where the front is pretty open. And that's something I like a lot. But for this character who's kind of old-fashioned, it might make more sense to make it look like a rip. I don't actually know what this bone looks like. This is just a placeholder. Might have this bone be visible. You could infer like, well, maybe that happened and that ripped the dress open. You don't necessarily have to come up with an actual reason for why she looks the way she does. I just want her to look cohesive. You could draw it kind of folding around this, like around this bone. Is this the femur? I don't know bones very well. If I don't do this well, this is going to be really hard to draw. If you're enjoying this, by the way, I really appreciate it. Please remember to like D-Stream, as Randy Troy says, because that's what helps get us out of algo jail. I have to come up with something to say. I'm not a One Piece fan, so it doesn't make, well, I am. I'm not a One Piece YouTuber. I have to come up with something to say that is not like D-Stream. These more ragged edges are meant to look like rips. Okay, this one I might ink and color in. I wonder I wonder if I could give her, like, really long nails, but that might make her look more like an insect. I want the making the whole hem a little frayed looking might help. I wonder if that would almost work as a bonus, like, if you were drawing her, like, you don't have to worry about these ends looking super perfect or super specific because 'cause they're not. They're rips. Hmm. Wonder so this drawing right now has sleeves, and I'm not sure if I wanna keep them. Maybe a different shape of sleeve? Kinda like like this, like a triangle? I see, like, I don't think it's called moss. I don't think it's called moss when it lives on a shipwreck. I think it's algae, but I'm not actually sure, so that's kind of what I'm going for. Let me see. I feel like that looks a little odd. There's giving them a triangle shape makes them echo the shape of the skirt right now. And when you have repeating shapes in a design, that can help it look finished. Wonder if I should close this up a bit. Okay. Here I'm gonna be using my markers to color once I get to that, not my paints. So it's gonna look a little different from my painting of her, but that's fine. Okay. Where did hold on, I have to remember where I put my pens. Okay. These are the Art Pop fine liners. As long as I can do it well and I don't get like too frustrated with it, I do love doing line art. I'm aware that this feet position probably doesn't really make sense, but I'm not really going for perfect anatomy here. I am trying to have like rounded lines, less sharp corners, because I think that's a really soft and cute way to draw. This is the thickest pen I have, so I want to use it for the outline, and then I'll switch to thinner pens for the inside. Anyone else in here draw? I want to know what you've been up to. Gonna adjust this a little bit. I also like when the lines look pretty uniform, so I'm actually trying to not have them vary very much. All right, let's try my point four. A lot of times my line art gets kind of wobbly, but I wonder if that would work here because she's meant to look very imperfect. Okay. Trying to decide where to go next. Okay. Now let's do her ears and face. Okay. A little awkward, but that's pretty much how I want the chin to look. I'm trying not to like overthink my lines because I feel like I have a bad habit of doing that, and that actually makes them look worse in the end. Let's do her hair, like her bangs. Hmm. Let's try point three now. If you don't know, these are different widths of pen tip. Okay. Forgot to do this part. Okay. Here's the leg bone. Need to fix that in a minute. Okay. That doesn't quite line up, but I think I can fix it. And I actually have a white pen that I use that's a gel pen that I can use to correct things occasionally. It looks a little odd, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I feel like when I ink eyes, it tends to really change their mood, so I try to do it slowly and carefully. Think I should make her bangs a little more wavy. I have a bad habit of not cleaning the bangs up enough. All right, that's better. I'm gonna use the point one for the middle of her eyes. Okay. I might come back to that later. Might make the eyelashes less dramatic because right now I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them, but for now I'm gonna fill in here. What I might do is fill in this part with like just kind of amorphous shapes. I wonder if from far away she would look more normal. Then you get closer and you're like, oh, that's not normal. I'm not trying to make these look too much like any specific organs either, but I have like a general idea of the lung shape. The kidney shape is like a bean. Okay. I think we should start racing now. I want to fix this leg a little bit. That's better. Last time I did this, I accidentally blew eraser shavings all over my computer, which was very funny, but it was very hard to get off. I'm just not sure about the sleeve. I need to show. So this is separate from her hair. I need to show that. Like I know that, but I didn't line it in. I think that's not enough of a difference in line weight, so next time I'll use a smaller one. Weight is the thickness of a line, kind of like in yarn. Sometimes I erase too hard and I actually erase the ink. So I'm trying not to do that. I don't think it's even because of actual erasing power. I think it's because I accidentally rip the paper. I really want to get like all of the annoying pencil marks out of the way, but if I erase too hard, the paper and the ink go bye-bye. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I might leave the slightly warm look though, because I feel like it adds to her aesthetic. I'm not sure. Does that look strange? I'm not sure. Another thing that happens when the paper gets a little torn is the ink like spreads more, and I don't know exactly why that is. I have a little book that I use to check what color each marker is, because otherwise I will forget. All right, let me fix up her hair a bit. All right. Yeah, I'm not I'm not really enjoying these sleeves. I have a kind of warmer dark green, but I want to see how this looks. I might also lighten her hair the next time I draw her, but I'm not sure. I might need to test a couple of different reds too, because I want to use those a lot. I don't think I'll color in her skin besides maybe like some touches of using colored pencil, probably like really pale green in some places. I want her to look pale, like she's not alive anymore. In case you don't know why I'm drawing her as a zombie, it's because I was thinking about whale falls and how after a whale dies, creatures will like they'll eat like the muscles that are left over, or they'll build a home in the skeleton. And things like that happen all throughout the ocean. What's really important to me with these kind of personification characters is that they're the kind of thing that I want to draw. Like I I think about like what does the ocean mean to me and how can I communicate that? What's the kind of character that I would want to draw over and over again? Okay, that's her hair done. Can you see what I was saying? I mean it to look like kelp or seaweed. I think because I have her hair as a colder green, I think I'm going to use colder greens for the rest of this drawing too. I might not keep them the next time I draw her, but just to see what they look like. That might be a little dark. I wonder if I could do a gradient. I have it's number 62 in my set. I'll have to check where I got it later. I feel like this almost looks too alive, these colors, like they're so vibrant. Like I would use them for living characters, sure, but since she's meant to look kind of rotted, they might be too bright, almost too cheerful. What's in fun, I'm gonna try and remember to write all this down on the side of this picture, like what I learned from doing this drawing, because that's what helps me improve. This looks almost like spinach green to me. I have to pack a lot of salads at work. Hold on, let me touch something up. Does that look stranger? I'm not sure. I have an even lighter green I might use for one that's kind of muddier. I might not give her a gradient in her actual final design, but I just want to see how all these different greens will look. I've also had these markers for a long time, so we want to try and use them up. This marker is older than I thought. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to switch, guys. Good grief. I'm gonna try and make this look more like an intentional gradient right here. think I made her eyes green the last time I drew her too, but they were like a different green, a different shade of green than the rest of her, and that helped them stand out. This is almost more of a yellowish green. I hope it doesn't look too strange. You can tell I've used this one less. Okay. Now, this might not I might not worry about this too much when I draw like her final design, but for now, I might make the inside of her dress a different color to show that that's the internal part. That's not the part that's like facing the world. This is super bright. I haven't used these couple markers in a long time, so I forgot how bright they were. It's interesting. I don't love this silhouette for her dress too. It's very wide, it's very triangular. I like how I first drew it, where it had more of a scoop here and a long trail. I wasn't worrying too much about the details this time, but another thing I want to do when I do go more into those details is get out references and make it clear that she's connected to the ocean. Because I know that, but I feel like if you were just looking at this character and you didn't know that, you wouldn't get it. And that's not on you. That's on the character design to communicate to you. But I want to make it clear that she's not just undead; she's connected to the ocean. I forgot to write that down in my keywords. I knew that, but I forgot. I need to show the viewer that. I'll write that down once I'm done. Okay. I wanna color in her eyes real quick. Not sure what I'm gonna do in here, maybe not too many colors. Might add some pinks too. This is very bright. I also have to remember which reds and pinks I actually have, because 'cause I've used up a lot of those too. I think the colors look warmer on camera, but in person they're very cold. That's not necessarily what I want. Forgot to show that this was like a hole. All right. I have a bit of a lighter red with me too that I want to use. Is that too busy? I hope not. I'm gonna try and make this red a little deeper. Some places at least. I wonder if I should make the bones a little bit like yellowy to show that they've like they've been in the ocean for a long time. Because I feel like having just like bright white would be really dark and look a little weird with the rest of the color scheme. I have a colored pencil I could use there. For now, I'm going to get out some pink. I have this one. Although I have another one that's a bit more orangey, so I could use both. Because I think if I have like her skin be super pale, then I want the bones to stand out from that so it's clear that they're not the same thing. I did I did used to have um this is the Prismacolor cream. I did used to have a marker that was like this color, but I used so much of it. I ran out of it in like a month. I wonder if I could make these look a little greenish too. Because on the other hand, if I warmed this up, then that might also look a little strange. If this sounds like illegible, it's because I'm thinking in like artist brain, and I could do like another time where I explain it all. Basically, I'm thinking I want the temperatures of the colors to agree. See how this looks like a really, well, in person, it's a very cold green. And the cream I'm using is a very warm color. So if you put those colors next to each other, they look odd. It's the kind of thing that you usually don't notice if it's done well, but if it's done wrong, you might notice it and just not know how to explain it. You just feel like something's a little off. I'm gonna get out one of my green colored pencils. It might take a minute because I put them in a bit of an odd place while I was cleaning up, but I'll try my best. Okay, gonna add a little bit of green. I'm not sure how well it's showing up on camera just because it's so small, but in person, this is meant to look like when superfine algae or bacteria or something. I don't know exactly what it is, like the little microorganisms, they grow onto the bones. I'm pretty sure this blue one is for erasing colored pencil and ink, but I genuinely don't remember, so I'm just kind of winging it. I might not necessarily do all of this, like, green, almost blushing when I draw her, but I wanna see how it would look. I wonder if I should give her little bags under her eyes to show that she's tired. Might make that gray. It looks almost more like face paint. I think I need to make it gray. Okay. I actually have a silver that I think might work here. Obviously, it doesn't have to be silver, but it's something I have close by. How do people make bags under eyes look normal? I've showed drawings with them to my mom before, and she thought they were face paint, and I was like, "Well, no." Tried to make that as obvious as possible. I think that looks pretty good so far, like, making it darker down at the bottom and then lightening up as you get closer to the bottom lid. I wonder if I should go over the rest of her skin with a really light silver or something too to show that it's not bone. It doesn't even have to be, like, shiny, just to show that she does have skin and the bone is something else. I wonder if that makes her look not quite pale enough, though. Hmm. Because if I'm tinting the bones, I think putting too much on the limbs could actually make them look too similar, so hold on. Okay, that looks better than I expected. Okay, I think we're gonna be done for today. So if you stuck all the way through, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And although I don't love everything about this drawing, I'm really glad I did it because it showed me what I want to do next time and what I don't. And ultimately, that's the goal of concept art. It's just trying things until you find what works. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.